this Sherry?
Yes.
Sherry, this is Detective Davis.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You sound frantic in your messages.
Oh yeah, because I don't know what's going on.
It's okay. That's why I've been wanting to find you and just ask you something. Okay.
Okay.
I have received a tip on. I work in sex crimes, and I've been working some cases, and I received a tip that you may have been sexually assaulted by a police officer.
Yes, I have. But I didn't say anything because I know that I know police department and police, they all stick together.
Well, we ain't sticking together on this one.
Oh, okay.
So I would like to interview you.
Okay, well, it happened to me like maybe, I'd say 3 months ago. I was walking down the street and I got stopped, and he run a check on me, and he found out that I had some city warrants, the tickets, and he asked me what did I feel like I needed to be done, and I told him, well, what does he mean?
Uh-huh.
He said, well, what do you think that needs to be done about the situation, Sherry? And I was like, what do you mean, what do I think? He said, well, what do you think? Because do you think you need to go to jail? I'm like, well, if I got tickets, are you going to take me to jail or are you not?
Uh-huh.
And next thing I know, hey, I have to go to the bathroom because this is like very, very serious. Yeah. And next thing I know, he pulled his penis out and put it into my face. And then after that, he put me back in the back of the police car, and he took me to the park over there off of Miramar, took me out and told me to pull my pants down.
Okay.
And then he said, well, I was free to go, and he let me walk off. I didn't ever get his badge number. I don't know anything. I was terrified. I just didn't know what was going on because he said, I'll do that, or he was going to, I don't know. I didn't know whether if I still did it or is he going to take me to jail or what. He was a black man.
Okay.
Okay, but I don't know his name or anything. Okay. But it happened to like maybe, I'd say maybe 3 or 4 months ago. And I told a couple of people. I told my husband, and he told me to go to the hospital.
Uh-huh.
But I had sex with him too, and he said that if I had sex with him and him, it wouldn't have made no difference. It wouldn't have did any good or something.
Well,
he told me.
Tell me what I want to interview you in person. So,
okay, but he also, that night when he picked me up, he also called in, and that's how he found out that I had city warrants. I don't have any county warrants. I have city warrants.
Did he do that on his radio or on the computer? Or did he call you in to check you for warrants on your radio?
Yeah, he called me.
Computer?
Yeah, he called me in to check for him on the police computer.
Computer, or did he say it on the radio?
He pulled it up on the computer. And then he called. in.
Called like on the telephone?
On his thing.
On his radio?
Yeah, and then they told him that I had. That's how he found out that I had warrants, city warrants.
Okay. What?
He was in a black and white police car.
Did he, and just like I said, I don't want to go into depth here because I think it's rude that I talk to you about a sexual assault on the phone. I want to schedule a time to interview you. But what was the sexual assault?
Well, when he first pulled me over and he was asking me what we was going to do about this situation, I was looking down, and then when I looked up, he had pulled his penis out and had it in my, because I was sitting in the back of the police car and he was standing up over me, and he pulled his penis out and had it in my face.
Did he put it in your mouth?
Yes, he did. And then after I did that, He told me to get back. He told me I had to get back in the back of the police car, and he drove me into the. He drove me into the park right there off of Miramar and 16th and Miramar, that park, and went in the back of the behind this building and told me to get out and pull my pants down. And I bent over, and he had sex with me. He had sex, and then he told me I was free to go, and he let me walk off.
Okay.
And after that happened, I stopped walking at night. I mean, during the day, once it gets dark, I stopped walking because I didn't want to have to go back. I didn't want to have to see him no more because didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't want that to happen to me no more, so I just stopped walking completely.
What was the name of the park?
Okay, I don't know the name of the park, but 16th and Miramar. Northeast 16th and Miramar.
Can you tell me, I lost my train of thought there. Where were you walking when he stopped you?
Okay, I was walking from my house. I used to stay on 16th and Terrace. I was walking off of Highland, and when I was walking, I went down 16th and Terrace until I hit Highland, and then I turned right going down Highland. Then I passed 16th Street and Highland, and then I went down just a little bit farther, and maybe a block and a half after that is when he pulled me.
So were you on Highland when he stopped?
Yes, I was on. Okay. Yes, I was on Highland.
It's Friday. I'm off Monday. What are you doing Tuesday? Can I meet with you Tuesday?
Yes, you can. I'm going to school now. I'm going to school 5 days a week. As a matter of fact, I'm at school right now.
Where do you go to school?
OCI.
Okay.
I'm getting my GED.
Good for you.
And I've been going here for almost 3 weeks now. So I mean, I go from Monday through Friday from 8:15 to 2:45. So Tuesday I have lectures. So it's better for me to come on a Tuesday because all I'm doing is sitting in there listening to this man talk. So that'll give me a break.
What do you want a break, or do you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have enough lectures. I mean, I'm not going to miss any. I'm not going to miss too much on one day.
What about this? What about tomorrow?
Tomorrow, Saturday?
Yeah.
I got to go out of town tomorrow, Kingfisher.
What about Sunday?
Sunday, I don't think I have anything planned Sunday. I don't know, but Tuesday is fine with me. Tuesday is fine.
Okay, you tell me what time and where.
Okay, Tuesday. What time and where? Where you want me to meet you up at where you are?
Yeah, you want to just come to the station?
Yeah, I have my boyfriend bring me up there. What's the address?
It's the downtown station, across the street from the county jail.
Downtown station?
Yeah, the Oklahoma City Police Department headquarters.
Oh, okay, Oklahoma City Police Department.
Do you know where the county jail is?
Yes,
do you know where the police department is, right across the street?
Yeah. I know somebody that knows where. Okay.
We're right across the street from the county jail, east, like on the corner of Colcord and Chartel.
Okay. Well, my boyfriend gets off at 3:30, and I'm gonna have him bring me up there.
So 4 o'clock, you think?
I'll say 4:30.
Tuesday at 4:30.
Yes. Am I going to be in any trouble?
Absolutely not.
Okay, because they said that. Okay. All right. I just kept it to myself.
No. And like I said, I got a tip, and I'm following up on it, and I completely understand where you know, everybody says no, cops stick up for themselves and stuff. No, we don't put up with this. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's more than wrong.
Okay, ma'am.
So,
now I feel a little better because I was like, I ain't did nothing since I've been out the penitentiary. I've been on the straight and narrow road, and I've been paying my fines, and everything was going through my mind. I'm like,
no, you are not in trouble. He is. And
okay.
I just want to meet you, and I want to do a full-blown interview. I mean, I'm going to ask you a ton of questions, like, okay, well, how did you take 10 steps, and then you just go into all the details of it.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
I will see you Tuesday at 4:30.
Okay, keep my number if something changes.
Oh yes, I got it. I got it in my phone.
Okay. Thanks,
okay.
Sherry.
Bye-bye.
Wow. So, hello everyone and welcome. It's great to see everyone here. I may have a bit of a well, not that Kay and Cherie aren't absolutely the greatest, but normally I would have Jack and possibly Susan. And shame on me, I did not send a link to Alice. So I'm going to do that right now. Alice, if you would like to come on, I'm so sorry. But there, I just really quickly, I want to get right back to this, but I do really quickly want to share some news. And most of you already know this, but our foul play team lost a dear member of our team, a founder of foul play, in fact. BB passed away this week. And so there's a lot of, sadness and heartbreak, but also that strange feeling of sense of relief that she's no longer in pain. And so I've invited Jack and Susan, and if they are not able to come, I completely understand. But I just wanted to let everybody know, if you're not a part of the foul play team, what was going on. BB, we're going to miss you. All of the greatness and all of the wisdom and all of the fun sayings that you had of your own that really did make a lot of our chats and conversations a lot of fun. And we will miss you greatly. To get back right away, I'm not going to name everybody in chat just because I think I've said hello to everybody via chat, but welcome to every one of you who are here. I appreciate you guys being here and sharing your comments and your questions and your thoughts and all of your wisdom and excitement to learn about this case. So yes, that interview. I wanted to start with that interview. That was the beginning of the Sherry Ellis case, at least as far as the detectives were concerned. And I believe that was on August 1st that took place. And then the interview in person in the office was August 5th, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I've really been struggling with numbers today. So I thought it was interesting at the end, and I'd like to get Kay and Cherie's opinions on this as well. But I thought it was interesting near the end when she's talking about how I know someone who knows someone who knows someone. No, she had been in the penitentiary, as you heard her say. She knew exactly where that where that office was. So, but there was also some things that I picked out, and I've listened to this interview countless times, but I also picked out some things that I hadn't picked up before. And some of that was Kay and Cherie. If you guys picked up on this, I'd love to, please tell me. But she says something about, she kind of trips up in her story on the phone and says that he stopped her, he pulled her over, he stopped her. He didn't pull her over because she was walking, but he stopped her. And then she says that he put his penis in her mouth or in her face. And then he took her back to put her back in the police car. So I'm wanting to know if I'm just curious, did she drop to her knees immediately? Or did, I mean, to me, that was a slip up. And I don't even think she really caught it. But to say he put his penis in my face, his penis was in my face, and then he took me back to put me back in the back of the police car. Did you catch that, Cherie or Kay?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't. But good catch.
I did. And I think she says that initially. Well, I mean, the whole backing up to the very beginning, the police report, Kim's police report says, Sherry called me back. I recorded the phone conversation. Now, we just heard Sherry answer the phone, and Kim Davis said, "Is this Sherry?" So Kim Davis placed the call, not Sherry. But we know that they've either had some back and forth messages, I assume, because Kim Davis also says, you sounded frantic in your messages. But there's no documentation of any of that in the police report. So then she starts, as you said, Rhonda, she starts into her story and she says, he pulled his penis out and put it in my face. And then he made me get in the back of the police car and he drove me over to near 16th and Miramar to the park, which is not 16th. It's more like 18th and Miramar, I think.
It's literally 18th and Miramar.
And as we'll hear later on, as Brian Bates breaks down, well, I don't know. Will we hear that?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't get
Maybe
to. Well,
I
we
can.
can play it. We can play it from the podcast if we can.
Yeah,
get
I'll try to find the start point of when
Okay.
he explains how Daniel's car could not have been where Sherry says that it was.
Yes.
What else? Yeah, so she does try to recover when she tells that story again. I think she realized what she did. So when she tells it again, she says that he put her in the back of the car and he was standing there. Well, that's a different story already.
Yeah.
What else I also found interesting, she didn't tell anyone, she didn't report it because police officers stick together. We ain't sticking together on this one. What? Okay, like, yeah, you're right. We stick together. We screw people all the time, but this time we're going to screw our own guy. We ain't sticking together on this one.
Yep.
I thought that was really interesting.
We let Jeff Sellers get away with it, but we're not letting this one get away.
Right. What else? Oh, I wonder at the part where she says at the end where she says, am I going to be in any trouble? And Kim says, no, absolutely not. She says, because they said, and then she stops herself. Like, who are they? What do you mean?
Yeah.
They said what? This is something that some information that she's received from either, well, from all of the people that probably from Vernon Starr, her relative who Kim Davis contacted on Facebook, because she has talked to Davis and what's her name? Homan. They've talked to Terry Mack, her boyfriend or common law husband of like 18 years or something. They've talked to him, and he advises that his dad and Sherry are no longer together anymore, but that doesn't stop Kim from telling him why he's trying to find her. So they do this commonly throughout all the investigations. They give all the information that they hope to hear back from the women. And I don't know. I'm just assuming that one of these people that talked to her and fed her the information said something, because they said, I don't know, probably they said, hey, he pulled her up on the computer and she had some city warrants. They had that information to feed to her. That may well be what that is. And then she just stopped short of saying that. I don't know. It could be something totally different.
I thought maybe the whoever knew ahead of her, like Vernon, I guess, could have said, well, you didn't call the cops, so you're going to be in trouble. I mean, when it happened, she didn't but
Uh,
I don't know. That's just a guess.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's so strange that why would she be in trouble if she were going down to report a crime of any kind, for that matter?
Well,
What kind of, what,
remember what she knows that we don't know yet? Because she's saying I have been on the straight and narrow since I got out of the penitentiary, been paying my fines and everything.
right?
Well, that's not exactly true, because in this in-person interview at the police station, she's going to ask for help with her fines because she's behind. So maybe she's afraid that she's probation violation for not
Okay.
paying her fines. That's the only trouble I could see that she could possibly be in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I hadn't thought of that. That's a legitimate question for sure.
Anyway,
So
that's really all I have on that.
yeah, it's just an interesting call, and we're gonna play the full in-person interview near the end here tonight, and it's a little, it's a little lengthy, so but it's got lots of information in it. This is where we're going to find out about her description of the man who sexually assaulted her, allegedly, and it's you can see Kim Davis in the interview trying to kind of scrambling, like, oh shit, what. In fact, when she said when Sherry Ellis said in this interview, it was a black man. It was very momentary, but there was a brief pause, and then Kim Davis said, okay. And I was just imagining Kim Davis going, oh, fuck, we're looking for somebody to say a white guy. Damn, now how are we going to work with this? And maybe it was just my overthinking it, but I felt like I heard just a very slight pause from Kim Davis when Sherry said that.
I
So,
agree. I agree. I heard that as well. And she does it again in the in-person interview.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah, Kim's
no
rattled
problem.
in the office interview. She's rattled by by the description, um, and also by the description of the car, because the officer who allegedly, and I think it's entirely possible that she was sexually assaulted. I really do.
Oh, I do
But
too.
yeah, I mean, just it just I believe that she probably was,
I
but
think they gave her this location through Vernon Starr, or in one of the "You sound so frantic in your messages," in
mhm,
one of the back and forth phone tag that they were playing. I mean, if we had those recorded, it would answer the question and, exonerate Kim Davis. But I truly believe that either in one message to Sherry or through Vernon Starr, she
yeah,
said, well, we got a tip that she was assaulted when she got stopped by a police officer over here on Highland, and then he took her around the corner through the back to the rapey schoolyard, and
yeah,
that's where it happened. Because otherwise, why would she pull up that incident when she's saying that she was raped by a black guy?
right,
She knows that's not a black guy that stopped her that night.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Um,
I mean,
I
that
mean,
that was Daniel. That was, you know,
yeah,
and he called her in.
I always thought that, excuse me, another, like the black man that we all are aware of, or all of us on the panel anyway, might have stopped her at a different time, but I don't. Maybe he wasn't even working that night. I don't know.
Yeah, and we don't know because they didn't bother to follow up on this short black man lead. And Actually, I do believe that he was working
Um, I-
in the adjacent sector.
yes.
So
And
it seems,
and when you say when Kay says adjacent sector, it's like literally the next sector over. Um,
I think it was less than a mile away.
yeah, that's how I remember whatever report it was that I read or some time ago. And I know that I shouldn't even say this because I can't find the proof of it anymore, but I was almost certain that there was another report of an officer being just 4 blocks away going north. I think like on 24th Street. Um, so, that was working that same night. But I can't really say it. I can just speculate because I can't remember where that report was or where I read that. So, excuse me. So yes, it was just an interesting call, and some things were very easy, and the more you listen to it, the more the easier it gets to pick it apart. So and Alice has joined us. Welcome, Alice. I'm so sorry I didn't get you the link. She's
Hey,
been
Alice.
scrambling.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely fine. That's not a problem.
Yeah,
Good to be here.
yeah, it's great to have you. So let's see. We want to go back to now to the timeline. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't get it to load in the preset, so I will do a screen share of it, which is fine. And let's see. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, I'm doing something that I wasn't planning to. There's a way to share the slideshow.
Off the screen.
Oh, there we go. Presenter view. I couldn't remember what it was called. Okay. So this is slide 152, but now it looks different to me.
No, it's fine. We're backing up just a little bit, but
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Okay,
this is,
start here.
this is what they're
Yeah.
doing here.
Yeah. I can start if you want reading.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it showing up on stream on the?
It is.
Okay. Let me get this way. Okay. So on Thursday, July 24th, 2014, Detective Holman and I, this is Kim Davis, Detective Holman and I began looking for Sherry Ellis. Detective Gregory wanted her contacted in reference to this case. Detective Gregory was scheduled for a 2-week vacation, so he gave me Sherry's information to see if I could contact her. And that was around the time that he had gone on vacation. And then one of the emails from Timothy Musney, the sex crimes lieutenant, to Ron Basie, and then he CC'd Wenzel and Coleman, and the subject is Holtzclaw. And this is on July 24th. And he says in the email, "We are in the process of dumping the reports into Varuna, and I have Diana Denham entering some officers' reports for me. Galen had to come back this afternoon and go over more cases. While doing this, we called Elaine to get clarification about a saliva test. With all that being said, Galen wants to wait to file until we get a chance to hear back from the potential victims. He would like us to be able to have their DNA tested before he takes the charges officially. Kim and Valerie went out at lunch and tried to locate 2 potential victims. They left contact cards and information with one girl's parents, but they have not seen their daughter in 3 weeks." Lieutenant Tim Musney, and there he's talking about Kayla Lyles on that one. On 7/24/14, Detective Holman and I went to the address, Sherry Ellis's address. This was Sherry's last listed address in Varuna. Curtis Jones was in front of the house. He advised he is the landlord of the residence. He confirmed Sherry lives at this address with her boyfriend, Terry Mack. He said Terry is in a wheelchair. Curtis said he would give Terry and Sherry my card and have them call me. What was everyone doing on this day?
Don't know.
I don't know either. Nothing
Does that
going
ring
on
a
the
bell, Cherie? July
25th.
25th? I can't find any actions really on that day.
Yeah, they're
No, just 24th is, like they said, they were dumping a lot into Verona.
yeah. Maybe that's what they were continuing on the 25th because they had a lot of shit they were trying to. So, and so there's really not much else going on until the 28th of July. I called several numbers. This is Kim Davis. I called several numbers listed in Verona looking for Terry Mack. Terry Mack Jr. called me back because he received a phone call from my number. He advised his father is the person I am looking for and confirmed he's in a wheelchair. He knows Sherry but hasn't seen her in a long time. And then there's blank day on the 29th. There's more certainly things going on behind the scenes. We don't have emails for anything or anything in the timeline to go by. And then on the 30th, from Timothy Musney again to Kim Davis, Ron Basie Wenzel, and it's a forward. And it says, quote, we have two women we would like to talk to in reference to the Holtzclaw investigation. One is Stacy, he means Sherry. One is Stacy Ellis and the other Kayla Lyles. Kayla was chosen because she was run by Holtzclaw the night before the traffic stop at our second victim. There is no other reason except she was ran before he made this traffic stop. I think that this is very interesting choices of words. Kayla was chosen. So this to me shows that they were choosing the women based on a certain demographic that they were going to question. Obviously. The second person is Stacy Ellis. She was chosen because he ran her name approximately 6 times in the last few months, and there is one entry in Verona that said she was a suspected prostitute. Kim has checked all addresses associated with her, and she has made contact with her mother. Kayla has not been seen by her family, but her mother has talked to her twice in the past few weeks. Kayla was given contact information for Kim, but she has failed to call her back. The mother has called both times she has talked to her daughter. There are no addresses or phone numbers for her. The mother has no idea where she is staying or where she is calling from, one of two.
But Kayla has the information now, doesn't she? Because
Yes,
she's
she
talked
does.
to her mom twice.
Yep.
So
And
we'll see what she does with that information later on.
yes. And this is, so to keep these dates straight, this is July 30th. Kayla was stopped by Daniel, as far as I can tell, as far as we've been able to find out, at least in this time period, one and only one time ever. She claims that he stopped her 3 times and given her tickets 3 times, but that was found and proven to not be true. But excuse me.
The other
Kayla's
thing is he's saying that Daniel ran her name approximately 6 times. Well, he ran her name 4 times.
3, yeah, I was going to say 3 or 4.
I mean, he looked her up in Verona. He didn't run her name.
Right.
I mean, I guess they're calling that run her name as well. But the first time was this contact. And then the 3 subsequent times, she was on his radar. And that's how he used Verona, was as an investigative tool, just to see, you can look and see if other officers have had contact with her. Again, he suspected that she was, well, here we go, that she was prostituting herself.
Right.
That was well established in the depositions that that's what Verona is for, at least not from Rocky and Kim, of course.
Yeah.
But from Holman and, you know, the higher ups, Wenzel, all them.
Right.
Yeah, Musney actually explained how to use Verona and how it's an investigative tool. They all use
That's your Daniel.
it. They all use it the same way that Daniel was using it and was trained to use it.
Yep. And the 4 times that well, we'll get into that either tonight or on the next one, but the 4 times that he did check her name in Varuna, there's a completely logical explanation for it that has really nothing to do with stalking her, I guess you could say. So, and then the thing with Kayla Lyles, so this is July 30th. Kayla's on probation. Kayla Lyles missed a probation in the month of July. She missed her check-in with her probation officer. So that's just an interesting something to keep in the back of your mind for when we get to more details about her. So then this is the second of 2 from Musney to all those people. Stacy so far is a ghost. He means Sherry. What a bunch of dickheads. We have not been able to locate anyone who knows her. Contact cards have been left and people calling back have said they don't know her. I sent an email to Vice, Gang Unit, and Criminal Intel on Monday. They all received the email and Vice ran a check on them through their system. So far, nothing has turned up. Criminal Intel is also looking into the names. Here's the thing. If Musney was telling these people to look for Stacy Ellis, of course they're not going to find anything. It's got the wrong damn name.
And also, he spells both of Kayla's names wrong.
Right.
It's Callayles.
Yeah. An idiot. Oh, man. So far, nothing has turned up. Criminal Intel is also looking into the names. They will notify me if they find anything. The gang unit has been busy looking for a homicide suspect. Oh, I wonder why they're not paying any attention to this thing over here, because they're trying to find homicide suspects, much bigger things. So they have not looked for them yet. They will be on the east side today. They will send me an email on what, if anything, they find. As stated earlier, we have nothing that says either of these women are victims. We are just going off of investigative hunches. Makes me sick. It just makes me sick. And you guys can please give your opinion about this, but I think that it is a little bit of overkill that they are spending time trying to track down these women. Clearly, Sherry Ellis didn't want to be found. Kayla, none of them wanted to be found. But these guys, these detectives just hounded these women trying to find them. And, like Vice said, we're trying to find a homicide suspect. So see you next time, because that's their important job. But these detectives, these sex crime detectives, are trying so desperately to pull victims out of thin air that they're going, like, these guys are just going crazy trying to find these ladies. And it's just ridiculous to me. So these are the addresses that they were given, that the detectives were given for where Sherry Ellis might be located. None of them are Northeast Terrace, though. On 8/1/14, I sent Sherry a message on Facebook. I also used her Facebook page to find some associates. I found she is related to Vernon Starr. I contacted him at work. He said he talks to Sherry every day. I explained to him that I needed her to contact me and gave him my number. He said he would give her the message. So I'm pretty sure Vernon Starr had a lot more information than just, hey, if you see Sherry, tell her to call. So on August 1st still, when do the frantic messages from Sherry, which Detective Davis referred to, happen? You sounded frantic in your messages, said Detective Davis, that we just listened to. Yeah, how come none of those, she puts all the addresses that she had to make contact with Sherry Ellis, but she never writes a report to say that any of the stuff that was on that phone call. Yeah, it was recorded, but what happened in the voice messages that they shared between, it sounds like they were playing phone tag. And so what was said in those messages? You know, Sherry Ellis called me back on July 28th, and I missed the call. I will try to reach her. Nothing. There's nothing about those calls.
She also doesn't bother to include a screenshot of her Facebook message to Vernon Starr or his reply to her.
Right.
And he says that he talks to her every day. But there are other times when I feel like she's fabricating a police report for some reason, like when she made such a big deal of the crime CSI chick saying they're going to process Daniel's car for a second time. And she writes this report that she was not going to that.
Yeah.
Like what? That's like a non-report. What do you now you're writing reports of things that you're not doing?
Yeah. Seriously.
I mean, I don't know why that was.
Yeah. Well, we don't know why anything was in this case at this point. It's just.
There was a message from a little bit ago about why did Daniel get so many years for one case that's got supposed DNA. Are you talking about? I think that was under your scars. Were you talking about Sherry Ellis?
Let's see if I can find it.
I mean, because he did get 62 years for Sherry Ellis, but there was no DNA.
No DNA.
It is interesting under our scars how they got so many convictions based on Adara Gardner's DNA.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Well, yeah,
That's who she's meaning. Sorry, that's who she's meaning. She's meaning Adara Gardner because she says only one girl touched DNA. Well, that was Adara Gardner.
Right. I mean, that was Adara Gardner was the only accuser in the sample from the fly of his pants. There was only one complete profile, and that was Adara Gardner.
Right. And the one this one, yes, of course, they all pissed me off, but the one that really even, I don't even want to say I don't even know if I want to say even more so, but that really, really pisses me off is Janie Liggins. How many years did he get for hers? I can't remember how many years, 32 or 30, I don't remember. But there was no evidence. There was no DNA. There was no forensics. There were no fingerprints. There was absolutely nothing. But he got, all the years that he got on hers, which, like I said, I don't remember. And, it just infuriated me. It every time I look at how many years he got for her, it really, really pisses me off. He got 263 years for all of the accusers totaled and all the charges. So, hey, Susan, you're welcome to jump on if you would like to. As always, I'm doing all the talking, so. All right, let's see who would like. We just really went over that. We've already played that interview that's referred to in this slide. And then Sherry Ellis is interviewed in person at OCPD Sex Crimes Office and claims that her attacker is a short black man. Hey, would you like to read some of these?
Should we play that interview right now?
If you want to, we can play it now. Well, we can play it and pause and comment in different places too, I think, to kind of break it up if we'd like to. Let's see. So let me stop sharing that screen and start sharing a different one.
Under your scars, the last question I put in the private chat there, I think she said that's what she was wondering. Why did he get 263 years when there was only one accuser that had DNA, and that was touch DNA?
Yeah. We want to know.
I was going to say, when somebody can figure it out, we'd love to know, because it's they got him on every single thing that they could. Absolutely everything. All right, I'm going to see if I can figure this out, and I will try to put the first thing I'm going to do before I play this interview. I want to run through these. Well, I don't know. I was going to say I want to run through the maps that I got on here, but we won't do that. I think they're before the interview though. So what this is, anyway, the point is what this is. It's a old It's an old. This one I did this one a couple of years ago, and so it's. Let me put this in the chat. So if you want to watch the whole thing, I've just linked it there in the chat that you can go and watch at your leisure sometime. But this is, I just want to kind of show you a little bit of the map that I made based on the stuff that Sherry Ellis had said. So this, it's going to probably be kind of hard to see. Hopefully you can see my cursor. This red X pin is where Sherry Ellis lived. And she left her home and went down to Highland Avenue. When she got to Highland Avenue, she turned right. And then she crossed 16th Street. It's really annoying because there's Northeast 16th Terrace, and then the very next block over is Northeast 16th Street, which is really odd. But anyway, so she crosses 16th and she goes to 17th. And as she crosses 17th, this is where she claims that Daniel stopped her, was right here where this green pin is. I think it's supposed to be a tree, because she references a crepe myrtle bush that you'll hear about in the interview, where he stopped her. He stopped her right in front of this crepe myrtle bush, and that's where she was, according to what she said in this phone interview, still standing up, and his penis appeared in her face. So this is where that took place. And then after he did that, or whatever she claims is going to claims happened, then he put her in the back of the car and drove her to the next block over to Northeast 18th Street, turned right. This is a, you can't see it in this map, but I think some other ones will show it more clear. But this shows this is the cul-de-sac here of the park of where he allegedly drove her. And then this red line is where she alleges he traveled and then parked his car over here. And it's pretty much just basically not true. And not just because I say it's not true, but just because it's not true. Let me try to get through here a little bit more. Okay, so this is kind of a better, well, an aerial view. Over here to the right is this is Northeast 16th and Terrace, Northeast 16th Terrace. And that little bit of corner right there where you can see the red line. This is Highland Drive. This is 17th right here. This is 18th. That the house with the crepe myrtle bush is right. I think it's right here, if I'm not mistaken. That crepe myrtle bush should be right there. Is it the first house from the corner of Northeast 18th or?
It is, but it's on the right-hand side of the driveway from this perspective.
Okay. Okay.
It's
So, it's right
cut
there.
down, but
It's right there. I think like I said, you probably can't see my cursor, but it's right here where she claims he pulled his penis out and stuck it in her face. Turns here, goes down here. Here's the little cul-de-sac that goes into the park. And then, okay, there's the yeah, right there. That's that same view. Then we get up here where he's down on the cul-de-sac here that goes into the park or the schoolyard. This is an abandoned schoolyard, or as Brian Bates referred to it, a rapey schoolyard, which I just can't, I chuckle about it every time because I think it's funny. But anyway, so the state would have you believe that Daniel jumped the curb here on the cul-de-sac, drove around here, and then drove back here behind this building right here and behind this little tree right here. And Kay and I took an adventure on Google Earth Pro yesterday, and something I had never thought about before, but this tree that's right here where Daniel allegedly parked to rape Sherry Ellis, there's all these houses right here. I think I counted 6 in that block. 3 of those houses are direct view of that tree that he allegedly hid behind to assault her. And it's just ridiculous that claim was made. And this is exactly where the state says he parked. How they can know that is interesting because his AVL is not operating. If he's off of the street, like he is all through this red line here and here, his AVL is not catching any times. So how they can claim that he literally stopped right here? Well, they did take Sherry Ellis. We'll learn in this video. They took Sherry Ellis on a drive, and she took them, and this is where she told them that he drove her to. But there's these houses right here. And if you're going to rape somebody, Kay and I were talking about it yesterday. If he was going to, and this tree here, not very big at that time.
and smaller actually,
It
because
was even, yeah.
this is May 7th that this allegedly happened.
Mm-hmm.
So that tree wouldn't have been leafed out. I mean, it's just a small tree anyway,
Yeah.
with bushier on the top. But
Yeah.
the branch parts of it are no cover from those 3 houses.
Mm-mm.
And the photos that Gregory took of that tree would have been taken in July, the end of July.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's a
Well,
lot
August
of
5th.
growth.
They were taken August 5th because that's when they went out there, allegedly.
Yeah, as far as foliage on the tree, it's going to be a lot bushier in August than in May.
Kay and I were talking, if somebody was going to take somebody in this area and rape them, it would make more sense that they would go between these 2 buildings right here, where there's not, I mean, right here you've got some houses, but it's not very likely that, I mean, it's less likely that you would be seen here, or even, yeah, that you would be seen here than right here behind this little tree by these houses right here. But that's what they claim. So, let's see. So same picture. Same picture. Okay, I think, okay. All right, so here's the interview that we played. I don't know how good the sound is going to be on this, so I'm hoping that it's going to be okay. We'll see what we can do. And if it's not good, then I'm going to just scrap it tonight and play it for you next time, because I want you to be able to hear all these things because there's no subtitles. So let's see how well we can hear it. You all can hear it.
You can't hear it, can you?
Well, let me turn my volume up.
This is from us from the video.
Can you guys hear that in the chat though?
No.
Yeah. I don't know why, and I couldn't get it to.
That's.
Yeah, it was really sad because I couldn't get it to go any louder no matter what I tried or did. Let me try one other little thing here. Yeah, no, it's not me. It's the video quality.
Did I?
I guess what I can do is
It was before 12 o'clock, before midnight. Any medical problems? What I had to do, and I really, she's old. I really don't want her. If this goes to court and we have to mail you a subpoena, where do you want it mailed? Gotta ask him. Okay. You gotta ask him. Okay. All right. Because he got a mom that's been over there almost 20-some years over there where I used to stay on 16th and Terrace. So his mom would stay right around the corner. She's been there for several years. So and you think that's the one? Yeah. Okay. All right. Other than what happened to you, what we're going to talk about today, have you ever been the victim of a crime? Like, have you ever been assaulted? Have you ever been raped? Have you ever been molested as a child? Okay. Now, I know you've been arrested. What? Because you said that you recently got out of prison. What have you been arrested for? I've been arrested for burglary, too. Okay. So I went to the penitentiary for. How much time did you do? I had 3 years in and 2 years out. Okay. I spent 18 months and I got out. Okay. I had been in a predicament when I was in Spencer, assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, but state didn't pick that up. Okay, so it wasn't chopped. It wasn't filed. No. Okay. As far as that, I have been probably a couple, maybe 10, 15, 20 years. I don't even think it was that long, but it's been a long time. But I got involved with prostitution once, which it really, I don't know why I got caught up in the prostitution because I wasn't. But the police was doing a sting and they picked me up. And I was probably back in 2000, something like that. Okay. What about drugs? Have you used drugs before? I used to use weed. Okay. Any recent? What about crack? No. Are you working right now? No, I'm going to school. Oh, that's right. You're going to get your GED 5 days a week. Where do you go? OCI. What's that stand for? You know where the feds take drug tests and stuff like that? Oh, right behind that. Good for that building. Good for you. You know, I go 5 days a week, Monday through Friday from 8:15 to 2:45. Is it hard? Not really. Because I'm focused and ready to do it. You're ready to get it done? Yeah, because when I was in the penitentiary, I was trying to get my GED, but I had got out before I could get my GED. So. Did they charge you? Does it cost? $25. Oh, that's not bad. Okay. Are you married? Single? I'm single. Have you ever been married? No. I'm alone. My Terry man. You have kids? Yes. How many kids? 3. What are their ages? 20-year-old, 19-year-old, and a 7-year-old. Do you have custody of the 7-year-old? No. Daddy has custody? No, my cousin. Did you lose custody when you went to that's when I was doing cocaine. What kind of cocaine? Crack. I thought you said you didn't use crack. No, I said I did coke. Well, I don't do it now. But you have before. And before, yeah. But I don't do it now, though. When the penitentiary stopped, a lot of stuff. Yeah, it does. But when she was born, they took her because I had crack in myself. Oh, she tested positive. Do you have any medical problems? High blood pressure. I went to Red Rock. What'd you get a Red Rock for? I get medication for the severe depression. What do you take for that? Prozac.
Take Jordan for Calm Me Down.
Juridon. I haven't heard of that one.
Jurdon.
Because it doesn't exist.
Do you have anxiety?
Yes.
Is that what the Juridon's for? J-U-R?
Something like that.
Okay.
Okay, I need to that was me shouting in the original video of this because it doesn't exist. I suspected when I was thinking Juridon, I used to work at the state hospital. I know names of just about every psych med that there is. And so I was thinking, I wonder if she's trying to say Geodon. And anyway, I don't have any proof, but I think by the way, even Kim Davis hadn't heard of it. And she said it was spelled Jur or something like that. It's actually Geodon, which is a heavy duty psych drug. So she was taking psych drugs. Just thought I'd share that.
Prozac.
Yeah.
Do you take medicine for your high blood pressure?
Lisinopril.
What is it?
Lisinopril.
Any other medicines?
Zantac, but that's
just for acid reflux.
That's all.
All right. When I talked to you on the phone, you told me that you thought this happened about 3 months ago.
This is August 5th. So about 3 months or 4 months ago, it would be like March, April.
When you tell me when you think this happened?
About 4 months ago.
About 4 months ago. Where were you in your life at that time? When did you get out of prison?
I got out of penitentiary in July of last year.
Oh, okay. So you've been out. So when about 4 months ago this happened, where were you living then?
I was staying on 16 Terrace.
With who?
With Terry.
With Terry Mack?
Yes, 16. 2258 Northeast 16th and Terrace. 16th Terrace, yeah.
Now, were you off on the dope and stuff then?
Yeah, I was off.
No, you were off dope then.
Yeah.
Okay. What
Oh my
what
God.
time did you leave his house? Why were you out? What you see what I'm saying? What were you doing that day?
It was before 12 o'clock.
Before midnight?
I had left my house. I was staying with Terry. I left my house on my way to my cousin's house.
On foot or in a car?
I was on foot.
Who's your cousin?
My cousin Dion. Her name is Dion Thomas, but she lives up the street, around where I was walking when I was on my way. She stayed like maybe 4 blocks down.
Why were you going over there?
Because it's my cousin and my nieces, my nephews. I go over there all the time.
How do you spell Dion?
Dion.
Okay. But that's a female.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So when you go kind of draw me a picture from which way you went and stuff when you were walking. It don't have to be perfect because I can not draw stick figures. Yeah.
This is my house.
Okay.
Miramar right here. Well, Miramar. My house right here, but I was going this way from Miramar, going all the way down 16th and Terrace. Okay, the next block the next major block you get to is right here. This is Highland.
Okay. Oh, you're lefty too.
Okay, I went across Highland. Right here is an intersection.
Oh my God, Kay. I don't remember hearing that before. Oh, you're a lefty too. Why is she so fucking fascinated with left-handed people?
It's just her dumb shit way of trying to connect with people. She's so simple.
Yeah.
It's the best thing she can think of.
I guess. It's
Oh,
just
you're a lefty too. I never met any left-handed people.
I can't remember who'd she say that to.
Daniel.
Was it to Daniel? Such a stupid lady. Gosh. I don't know why the video isn't matching up to the words that are being said, and I don't know why, but I'm not going to try to mess with it. So I guess just pay more attention to the words that are being said. I don't know why they're not matching up. Here we go.
That's 16.
Okay, so you're going back north.
I'm still going down Highland.
Okay.
I crossed 16, still going down Highland. There's a block. I passed the block. And half a block after that is when I got stopped.
So this is 16th. Did you get to the next street?
Okay, hold on. This is Highland.
Uh-huh.
I went right here. This is 16.
Okay.
I crossed 16.
Okay.
Down, still going down Highland.
And before the...
Then there was another block. Okay. I passed 16.
Okay.
Kept on going. There was a block. I passed that. Before I could get to the other block in the middle.
Past 16th. Past next street. We don't know what it is. Before the next street. Okay, what happened? How'd you know a police car was there?
Was walking, and when I turned around, he was, I guess he had come from behind me because I wasn't.
You didn't see him
I
driving
wasn't
to
paying
you.
attention to the back of me. I was just walking.
Okay.
So I'm walking, and then next thing I know, lights behind me.
Like car lights or
His
these
lights.
Just headlights.
Yeah,
Okay.
behind me, and then he pulled up, and that's when I realized that it was police.
Because you turned
Because
around.
I turned around. Yeah, I turned around. That's when I found out it was a police.
Now, were his overhead lights on or anything? You just saw that it was a police car.
Yeah, because he pulled up behind me.
Okay. And what?
He asked me to stop.
Was he in the car when he asked that, or was he out of the car?
He pulled over and got out.
He got out.
And to ask me what was my name, and I told him, and he said, "Well, can you come back here with me? Come back here for a second, talk to him." So I was by the police car.
On the driver's side or the passenger side?
On his driver's side. And he asked me my name, like I said, and then I had my purse, and he asked me if I had anything illegal in my purse, and I said no, which I didn't. So he's like, "Well, will it be all right if I check you to see if you have anything illegal on you?" And I'm like, "No," but I wasn't thinking I don't think a man's supposed to do that. Did you say no? Or did you say no, I don't care? I said no, I don't care.
Oh, you said no. Okay. So you said no, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I didn't know if you were saying no, I don't care, or no, you can't check me.
No.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
And then he said turn around, and I had my arms out, and he checked me. And
Were your hands on the car, or were you just standing like
I was standing like this,
kind of like a scarecrow? Okay.
And
what did he do when he checked you?
he checked me, and then he checked me all like that. And
Did he touch your boobs like that?
yeah, and then he went between my legs and did that.
Did what?
Like that. Did between my legs.
Just like that? So did he touch your vagina on the outside of your pants?
Hmm?
Did he touch your bottom on the outside of your pants?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he said, "Have a seat." So, and that by the time he had opened the back of the police car door, he told me to have a seat there. And I don't know. I think I gave him my ID because I have my ID. So he ran my ID.
Did he shut the door when you got in the car? Are you sitting in the back of the car with the door shut?
Okay.
Just relax. If I go too fast, you tell me I'm going too fast.
Yes. She shut the door while I was in the back of the police.
So it's my opinion that she was getting flustered at this point. She tells Kim Davis to hold on, and she has to take a couple of minutes. Well, it wasn't quite a couple of minutes, but she had to take some time. I think, because I'm really jaded like this is purely speculation, but I think she was she had to stop and think, wait a minute, I got to make sure I'm saying this right, because I got to make sure everything's adding up, or that this could be this way or this could be this way. She has to make sure that her story sounds good. That's just me. I don't know that that's the truth. Of course, I can't get in her warped head.
She got back in the front seat, and he started typing in his computer my name. Okay. And he radioed, and then I guess after a minute they called back and said that I had city wounds. Okay. But while I was in the back seat, I'm looking at him pulling my information and stuff up. Mm-hmm. So everything that I've ever did is going to be on the computer, so I see this. Okay. My prostitution charge was way back then.
Did you see that?
Yes, I see.
You saw where it said prostitute? I didn't know if you could see the computer.
Oh, yeah, in the back of the police car. But after a minute, they called. They hollered back at him and said, she has warrants, city warrants, from McAllister, which I have warrants, city warrants from McAllister for tickets. And he got out the car, opened the door where I was at, and he said, well, what do you think we need to do about this? I said, what do you mean? What do we need to do about this? He said, well, what do you think we need to do about this situation? What do you think we need to do? And I was like, what do you think? What do you mean? What do we need to do about it? Am I going to jail? Or am I not going to jail? Or are you taking me to jail? I mean, I don't know what you mean about what we going to do about this. So before I know it, he had pulled his thing out.
Did you even see him do that, or was it just there?
It was there. And it was just right. I'm sitting down in the back seat, and it's like right there.
Was it hard?
Yeah, he asked me. He told me this is what he want me to do.
What did he say? This is what I want you to do, or did he tell you what to do?
Yeah.
Did she answer? Was it hard?
He said.
What was that?
Did she answer the question? Was it hard?
No, I don't think she did.
She kind of just skated right by that after she put her hand in her head and thought about it first. Oh, wait, we're not matching up. Never mind. Never mind what her body mechanics were.
Yeah, don't pay attention to what she's doing.
She just paused and then didn't answer that question.
But yeah, she didn't answer that question if it was hard. She didn't, so.
I mean, if you get raped, you'd think you'd be able to answer, is it hard?
And you would think that somebody questioning wouldn't have to ask. I mean, I could be wrong. I know that there's plenty of cases where people, who have been raped or assaulted have said that their attacker couldn't get erect. So, that's possible.
Kim just likes to say, was it hard?
Was it hard?
Was it hard?
She's such a freaking weirdo, man. Okay. I think that's why this isn't matching up too, because there's delay. Never mind. We're just going to play. Doesn't matter.
He's practically just said
here it is, put it in your mouth, or you know what I'm saying, here.
Can you imagine that? Listen, this is the most ridiculous thing she says. He practically just said, here it is, put it in your mouth.
Yeah, basically, he just said, here it is, put it in your mouth.
Yeah. That is the stupidest thing. That is the dumbest thing that Sherry Ellis said. She tripped herself up there because she didn't have an answer, or the answer she thought she should have. I don't know.
I thought the blowjob happened back on Highland, though. So
that's what I thought too.
So but this is interesting, but
yeah, we need to look into it. JD, was it Horde?
It is how she says it.
It is. It is. Here it is. Put it in your mouth. He practically just said, here it is. Put it in your mouth. Okay. Or, you know, is she saying, well, what do I do with this? What am I going to do next? Well, here it is. Put it in your mouth. It's just dumb. It's just stupidest thing she's ever said. Besides the accusation itself. Okay.
Okay, and then I did that for 3, maybe 4 minutes or something. And then he said, put your feet back in. So were you turned sideways where your feet were on the street? Yeah. And he said, get back in. And he closed the door and he got in the police car.
Oh.
And drove off and hit the corner. Point on here for me.
Okay, so that was back.
Okay, this block right here then by that time.
It what? It was by the car.
So that was back on Highland. I thought she was already in the schoolyard right now.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Okay, we're excellent.
Kay and I both have had a rough day. Or a long day or something.
I'm catching up with you. Oh, yeah. This is where I'm gonna stop. Right here. This is the block that I didn't get to. Okay. This block he went and drove. He hit this block, and then he went to the right. Mm-hmm. There's a park where the old school was. It's an old school over there. There's a park behind the school. And he drove over the curb. He drove over the curb. He drove over the curb going into the playground. It's a big old field. Playground, big old field. It's a couple of buildings there. And he drove, and then he went around this other one building. And he parked. And he told me to get out. And is that school still a school, or is it vacant? It's a vacant school. It's off of Miramar.
Why would she ask that? I just never paid attention to that before. Why would
she wants to highlight that it's vacant because, like Bates says, that sounds more rapey.
Right, but the way Kim talks through the phone interview and this, she's not familiar with that area. She's not familiar with that school or that park. What would make her ask just randomly when talking about a school? What would make her just randomly ask, is that school vacant or is it still being used? That's just weird to me.
Maybe trying to accentuate the point. Hey, did you get that, Jerry? You know?
Yeah. Did you get the hint? You forgot to say that part because we can't sound as rapey if it's not vacant.
Right.
Sick ass people.
Yeah. Miramar and Highland, it's in between. He know what the school, because his mama stayed there. He probably went to school there. He probably know exactly what's his name. And okay. So he told you to get out. Did he open the door? Yeah, for you. Then what happened after you stood up? He told me to pull my pants down. What'd you say or do? I didn't say nothing to you. Okay, that's fine. That's okay. Did you pull your pants down? Yeah. And then what? Then he had sex. Well, what position are you in? Bent over. Or behind. Were you still at the car? Or yeah, well, I bent over by the car. He opened the door, I got out, and I bent over. Did he tell you to bend over? Yeah. Or how did he? He told me to bend over. So he said, pull your pants down. And bend over. And bend over? Yes. And I was facing the car. Were any part of your body touching the car while you were bent over? I mean, were you kind of leaning on it or no? I might have been leaning on it. Okay.
Here's another place. I think we're caught back up somehow with the motions, but this is another part where she's flustered because now she says that she's outside of the car and he's raping her. Well, what does he got her backed up against the car and her leg lifted, or has he got her bent over the hood of the car? You know, from taking her from behind, or are you inside the car? Kim Davis says, you know, so. Oh wow, that is. You've met Kim Davis. I'm so sorry. Wow, interesting. We got some stories to hear. So anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Kay.
Oh, that's all. That's what I was gonna say. What the hell?
Yeah, it's just so much. And she gets flustered because here again, I think she's going, "Oh God, wait a minute! I've got to figure out how I was getting raped. So I got to figure out, is this a possible thing, or you know." That's just again me speculating, but yeah.
It's also interesting how Kim is this seasoned sex crimes detective. She's supposed to be sensitive when she interviews these women, and she gets so frustrated with her that she just snips at her and like bites her head off.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no gentle questioning whatsoever.
It's because she knows this is fake, so she's just
going through her
motions. Not trying to. There's no need for her to be sensitive. She knows it's all bullshit.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Very good point.
I tried to put this behind you. I know.
I'm trying to put this behind me.
You want me to go get you some plants? Tissue. It sucks. I know it's hard to talk about.
But I'm going to do it anyway.
If you need to take
if you want something to drink, tell me. I'll go get you some.
I'll give you 1 second.
Yeah. Come on. We're on a time limit here, lady.
You okay? Let's go on.
I think if you don't know, you don't know. And tell me. I don't remember. It's okay not to remember. It's okay. We're just going to put that. I didn't know if he took you to the merry-go-round or the teeter-totter or, you know.
We're just going to put that? Okay. Let's put that. What is it?
Okay.
Can't remember.
Again, let me ask you some yucky questions. You said he did it. Did he put it in your vagina or your bottom? He put it in my vagina. What, did he have problems keeping it erect or anything? Did he wear a condom? I don't even know. Did he come? I don't even know. Okay.
Give me a break.
Did he say anything while he was having sex with you? He didn't say a word. No. How long do you think that lasted? 10 minutes. What do you think made him stop? I guess. Did he just stop? What happened after he stopped? He said, "Have a nice night." And he walked away. He walked away, or you did? He said, "Have a nice night," and let me walk. Okay. Where'd you go? I went back to the house. And is that when you told Terry? What did he say? He told me I should go and turn him in. And he said that since he did that to me, He's supposed to. He should even probably has DNA and stuff on me, but I have been messing with him. You didn't want to.
Liam, that's exactly what I said a long time ago. The very first time, well, first few times I watched this, she's a sex crimes detective, right? She should be in a room where she should be in a soft room with these people, these accusers, if she truly believes they're victims. They should be in a soft interrogation room. This is the same room that Daniel was interrogated in, most likely.
No, it is, and this they call it the box.
The box. That's not where. That is not, from my learning in college. Literally, that is not the kind of a room that you should be interviewing a victim in, especially a victim of sexual assault. They're supposed to be in a soft room, and that soft room would include a box of tissue and bottles of water, cups of water, a pitcher of water, or something like that. And for her to ask Sherry, do you want a tissue? Do you want some water? Do you want me to go get you some? I can go get you some tissue. Get your fucking ass up and go get the tissue and go get the water. You're a sex crime detective. Just do that. Just be prepared with that. It really bothered me. It still does. And thank you for saying the same thing, Liam. Thank you for agreeing with me.
The room that Rocky Gregory interviewed Terry Morris in is the appropriate room.
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. Thank you. Yeah, that's got.
He's in a cushy chair, wingback chair with, she's not all in a claustrophobic space.
Yes. TJ's playing Uyghur. I'm just going to come out and ask you, did a 6-foot-tall white cop rape you? Wink.
That's funny. Yeah, it's about right.
Yeah, literally. It sounds.
No problem. I know who did this to you.
Yeah, that's coming, isn't it?
I think it was at the beginning, wasn't it? Or was it?
Oh, I don't remember now.
All right, anyway.
Yeah, anyway, we'll see. You're probably right.
Probably not.
Stop.
I tell Terry that. Yeah, but I did. I told him. That's when hell broke loose because I had to tell him that I had sex before that happened to me. So, like I said, me and Terry. Is that what caused Joe to break up? Me and Terry had been through going through some things for a minute, but I like I said, had been with Terry before I got with him. I had been with Terry for 13, almost a long time. Me and Terry has been together since I was 20 years old, so that's kind of hard for me now. I'm dealing with that situation. Me and him breaking up 2 months ago, maybe 2.5 months now. I ain't been with Terry, but I still keep in contact with him. He's the one that gave me the number that I was looking for me and stuff, and asked and told me, you know what I'm saying, everything will be all right. Just, he figured it was going to be something. But yeah, I went and told Terry, and he said, well, it wouldn't be no good for you to go to the hospital having 2 DNAs in you because you have to answer questions. And I said, well, okay. And then I thought about like this. It's the police. If I say something, I'll be harassed for the whole duration. I don't want to have to walk down the street. I don't have to every time I look around, somebody harassed me over something because of what I did. Because I don't know nothing. I didn't know. I really didn't know what to do. Really, because it's the police. This is the first thing that has ever happened to me like that. So it kind of messed me up a little bit. But well, sure, because the police aren't supposed to do that. And then who do you tell the police? Who are they going to believe? Like I said, what I'm saying is true, and if I have to, I take a lot of tests. Sherry, I believe you. If I didn't believe you, I wouldn't have been calling you, trying to find you.
Do you know anybody by the name of Terry Morris? Female.
The part about it is I have a lot of associates. I really don't.
That you don't know that you know. That's okay. Off the top of your head, do you know anybody by the name of Terry Morris?
Kind of, the name sound familiar, but
what about Janie Liggins?
I don't know them by name.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
That's how I don't know how somebody would know my name.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Tell me your description of him.
Black.
Okay. Black male.
Muscular.
Muscular. How tall could you tell? You're pretty tall. How tall are you? How tall are you?
5'11".
Is he taller than you or shorter than you?
Like right here, maybe. Like that.
So you think he's shorter than you?
Yeah.
Okay.
She doesn't think, Kimbo. She knows. She's the one that got allegedly raped. She was the one that was allegedly standing next to him at the car. So she doesn't think he was shorter than her. She knows.
No, actually, she misremembered, like Regina, you know.
Oh, yes.
Sorry.
She
That's right.
probably misremembered. Yep, you're right. You're right, Sherry. Jesus. Okay.
Do you have any facial hair? You if you don't know, you don't know. Glasses? No glasses. And when you say he's muscular, how much would you like? Big muscular? Or?
Yeah, like work out. Like he wasn't fat, but like he worked out.
Did you see his penis? Did you pay attention? You know, like when it was right in your face?
Yeah, it's long.
It was long.
Was it circumcised? Could you tell? It was. Could you see any pubic hair?
No, he unzipped it from his pants.
Okay.
He didn't take belts and all that off. Nothing like
He didn't take his gun belt off or anything? Did he threaten you in any way of if you tell? What kind of car did he have?
a black and white one.
Black and white car?
Oklahoma City police car.
Have you seen him since then?
I try not to, ma'am. After that happened, after night falls, I'm in the house. I don't walk around. I wasn't trying to see him anymore. I just took myself in after a certain time of the day. I go in the house.
Yeah.
If I don't have my stuff from the store by that time, I'm not trying to go to the store.
Because you're afraid he might find you again.
I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know if it was going to happen. I don't want it to happen again. I didn't know because he had to be patrolling the east side like that for him to just be like that. Because I don't know. I don't know why I just stopped walking at night.
Would you recognize him if you saw him again? Like if I laid out 6 pictures, could you pick him out?
Which I'm not going to do, by the way.
Did you ever look at his name tag?
Oh, I didn't look at anything.
How come? I mean, and I'm not questioning. I'm trying to figure out what's going through your mind.
I don't know. I just did.
That's fine. That's fine.
That's what everybody else has. Like I said, I tried to put this in the back of my mind because I didn't believe it. I didn't say nothing, and I just thought it would go away.
And then I called you.
Yeah.
Did you have any idea when you found out I was looking for you?
At first, no. And then Terry said this was something dealing with sexual. And I said, well, that's the only thing that could somebody gonna say something, said something about my name or something like that, because I know I didn't say nothing. So that's the only thing, because I pay my fines, so I won't go back to the penitentiary. And my tickets, I still ain't took care of them. I'm not worried about that. Okay, but I still ain't took care of them. But until I get to where I can in the motel room, paying $200 every week is kind of killing me right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to school, and I have to struggle for that $200. So the fines right now, when I was supposed to went to court, I was in the penitentiary.
Liam, were you wanting me to stop so we could address that? He says, whoa, stop. I didn't look at anything, but she saw what was on the computer screen in the front of the car. Yeah, that's just another one of the things you can, one of the little things that may not seem significant, but it's just another box to check of a lie for sure. And I believe
But not even that, Rhonda. It's a whole description.
Yeah.
It is nothing like Daniel whatsoever. You know what I mean? It's just, and for her to turn around and say, "Oh, I know who raped you" or whatever, is a load of bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. And she got 62 years for him.
Yeah, exactly. When the whole fucking description, I mean, Daniel would tower over her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Absolutely tower over her. She says he was black and he was shorter than what she was. That's nowhere near Daniel, and that's what frustrates me about this whole fucking thing.
Preach, Alice. Yeah, I know. It is very, very, yeah. So, and then I'm trying to think of where it is. It's got to be somewhere in this interview, but it seems like there was a cat. Well, I remember us digging deep diving into this particular interview and the police report and everything, because at some point, and it may have been at a trial, I can't remember now, but she says that she didn't see the computer screen or something to that effect. So there's lies everywhere. And Kay says the problem with them showing a lineup with Daniel is that he did stop all of the women, and so they had all seen him before, which was true. Tabitha Barnes is the worst one too, man. Oh my God, I just want to kneel down and pray so I don't injure somebody when she talks and when she does a police report, and oh my gosh, I can't stand that woman. Yeah. Oh, very good. Very good, Kat. KD, victim advocate or detective? She's a lousy victim advocate, but that's the role she's playing. So, and yeah, they've all seen his face before, yet can't directly describe him. And then, as you guys have seen, I know I've played it at least a couple of times. The clip with Sherry Ellis during her deposition, she admits that she had never seen Daniel before the trial. So we're just about done with this interview, so I'll try to just let it play.
So, are they Oklahoma City fines or the McAllister fines? They Oklahoma City fines. I got Oklahoma City fines. Okay. But if I do go to jail, I was in the penitentiary. So they went to warrant because you weren't in court. Yeah, but I was in the penitentiary. Right. So how could I go to court if I was in the penitentiary? So that'll help me out a little bit, and then I can get a payment plan. Maybe I can go from there with the fines. As far as the county, I don't have no felony warrants or nothing like that. I've been doing real good as far as that. Well, let me
let me tell you this. I want to get a DNA sample from you today. And the reason I want to get a DNA sample is because I know what officer did this to you. Okay? And there is some unknown female DNA on his pants that I took. And I want to see if it's yours.
This happened 4 months ago. To me.
I know, but you never know. You might be nasty and not wash his clothes. You know? Do you have a problem with that? This is a waiver saying that you are going to let me, Kim Davis, and I'm a detective, and this is where we're located, are going to let me take buccal swabs. It's just Q-tips on the inside of your mouth to get a DNA sample so I can compare it to the DNA on his pants. Okay? Sign right here. Especially for a lefty, usually we're kind of sloppy. I'm going to do 2 on one side and then 2 on the other side, okay?
I was asking my friend, I was like, all this is coming down. Am I gonna do it? Should I be scared to move around and have to worry about him getting something happening to me? And
Sherry, he's not in a police car anymore. Okay? He's not working anymore. You can walk down the street, he's not out there. Okay?
they said after this is all over, I'll have closure. I sure hope so.
Who said that?
Friends,
I'll talk to you a little bit about
telling me
that.
it's getting it off my chest.
I'm going to give you my card. I'm going to offer you free counseling if you want it. And I'll do whatever I can to help you get closure. Okay? Do you have any questions? I'm going to go, the lieutenant that brought you up here, let me go talk to him real quick and make sure that he doesn't have any more questions.
Okay,
for me
well,
to
I'm gonna ask you a question.
Okay.
Like I said, I've been having a rough time right now.
Because of this, or just
Just because
financially, or
yeah. Okay. So I've been paying my fine every month, but this month I'm gonna be a little late. Do you think they're gonna issue a warrant for my arrest?
on which fine? On the traffic tickets?
My fines that I have to pay, that I've been paying $50 every
Court fines or whatever. Or is it
after I went to the
restitution? Do you know what your fines are for?
I have to pay $50 every month. I'm on probation. After I got out of the penitentiary, I've been paying $50 ever since I got out in July. I've been paying $50. This is the first month.
Who's your probation officer?
I have a probation officer.
Is it through Oklahoma County?
Yeah.
Let me tomorrow, because they're closed. I will call and find out what we can do.
Okay. Maybe if I could just come up with like maybe $20 or something.
I'll call and find out what we can do.
Okay, just let me know, and I'll try to come up with it, but I'm late because I usually send it off on the 3rd. This is the 5th, and I'm worried about that right now because I have to figure out if I can go to my grandma, my mama, my Amy, or somebody got to help me because right now.
Okay, I'll get an answer for you. Would you be willing to drive me to the area where I want to know where he pulled his car?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, stay here for just a minute.
You want to go right now?
Mm-hmm. But
okay.
Hang out. Let me make sure nobody else has any questions.
Okay. Just make sure I just have to let my friend follow us because
That's
like
fine.
I said, he stay right around the corner.
Okay, hang on just a second. I'm gonna leave the door open so you kind of don't get claustrophobic.
Okay.
At this point, Detective Davis steps out of the room for approximately 2 minutes and 50 seconds.
One more question. When you described him as a black male, what, and I don't know, everybody's like, what are you? Are you a medium color? What's your skin tone to you? I'm white. You're like, okay, what was he? He's darker. He's darker than you? Darker than your skin tone? Okay. So
Oh
you're
my
comfortable
God.
because I know you're nervous wreck. What if you go with Ed and we follow you to, didn't you say he lives right around the corner? And then we'll follow you there. Then you get in our car, show us where the officer picked you up, and then show us at the school, and then we'll drop you back off at Ed's. You comfortable doing that? Are y'all parked right in front of the building? I'm on the side right there. Okay. Let me get you with Ed. And let me get our stuff. So we don't. That's not the floor. That's not the floor. Turn right. I think he's over here.
Immediately.
Okay. So that was the interview. And if you want to see it in a better quality, you, I think I put the link to this particular video in the chat earlier, so you can go back and watch it, or you can listen to it on, I believe, on Brian Bates' podcast. So,
Can we listen to Brian's explanation of the AVL and Sherry's story, Kim's narrative, how
yes.
it doesn't match up?
What did you tell me that timestamp was again? 40 something?
4818 from episode 9.
Oh, hold on. I'm thinking you can hear it, but I need to share the screen. Let me. Share the screen. Okay. Kay, do you want to say again what we're going to listen to here?
So Sherry Ellis explains that Daniel, we saw on the map that, so Daniel, she says, turned off of Highland onto 18th, jumped the curb, and drove through the schoolyard back to that place near Miramar between the building and that little tree. And that's where he raped her. So they've pinned all this stuff on Daniel by using the GPS on his car, the AVL data. So when Bates was putting this podcast together, he actually did some calculations with the AVL and determined that that story cannot be true. Well, it could be true, but it's not likely. So he explains that here.
Holtzclaw took Miss Ellis. Detective Davis: no, I wouldn't even know how to put that on a piece of paper and calculate it. Adams: well, did you ask anyone? Detective Davis: no. Adams: did you go to anyone in traffic accidents and ask them to calculate it? Detective Davis: no. End quote. It just so happens we did those measurements and we did bother to do the math. And therein lies the problem with the prosecution's theory. Following the route that the prosecution says that Holtzclaw drove and negotiating the obstacles in the park, it's a minimum of 504 feet and up to 515 feet. Detective Kim Davis said she could have driven that route through the park in the dead of night, avoiding all obstacles, aided only by her vehicle's headlights, in only 10 seconds. And she could have, but she would have had to have been traveling a minimum of 35 miles per hour at all times. The problem with that analogy, however, is that in that 10 seconds, there would have been two 5-second pings. And those two pings would have had to have registered speeds of 35 miles per hour or higher. And that doesn't exist anywhere in the data. Additionally, I'd argue that how fast one can drive across the park is only one of several problems with the prosecution's theory. The one constant in the data is that Holtzclaw's patrol car appears to be stopped for 3 minutes and 49 seconds. It's during that time the prosecution must insist the rape occurred. So, the obvious next question becomes, how do you prove where Holtzclaw's patrol car was parked during those crucial 3 minutes and 49 seconds? And since neither Detective Davis nor Prosecutor Galen Giger bothered to do the math, they are simply taking Ellis's word for where Holtzclaw's car was stopped. I'll remind you, that's the word of a woman who swears she was raped by a short black officer driving a different patrol car. I personally wasn't willing to take her word for it, so I did the math and applied the AVL or GPS parameters. Here's a quick patrol car GPS refresher. The vehicle is pinged for date, time, location, and speed every 5 seconds. If the ping results in a 0 speed, then no data is recorded, unless the 0 speed continues for 5 minutes or more. In that case, a 0 speed is recorded. Otherwise, if the vehicle begins moving again after previously been at a stop for less than 5 minutes, then you will get a gap in the GPS history that begins again with the vehicle's movement. That's what we have in this case, a gap. 3 minutes and 49 seconds. If the vehicle doesn't move, then you get a 0 speed every 5 minutes until it moves again. That being the case, and the reality that the gap in time is only 3 minutes and 49 seconds, not the required 5 minutes for a 0 speed, then that means, in the prosecution's own theory, Holtzclaw's patrol car had to have come to a complete stop before the next 5-second ping after slowing down to 2 miles per hour and hopping the curb. I know this gets confusing, but try to stay with me here. If indeed Holtzclaw's patrol car hops the curb at 1:14 a.m. and 28 seconds, then we know exactly where his car is at that time. His car should be pinged by the GPS 5 seconds later. If he's moving, then the GPS will record a time and speed. However, his location will simply snap to the nearest public street. If his patrol car is not moving, then the GPS will continue to ping his patrol car, but only register a time and speed if it begins moving again, or if the patrol car is still parked 5 minutes later. So, even in a light most favorable to the state, Holtzclaw's patrol car came to a complete stop within 4.9 seconds of the 1:14 a.m. and 28 seconds ping at the curb line. Even if you double Holtzclaw's known speed of just 2 miles per hour to 5 miles per hour, he could have only traveled 36 feet before his patrol car would have been pinged again. And when it was pinged, he was at a dead stop, and he didn't start moving again for 3 minutes and 49 seconds. 36 feet, the maximum distance Holtzclaw could have realistically traveled after his last known ping before the alleged rape, is only just barely onto park property. Completely out in the open and nowhere near the 358 feet the prosecution argues Holtzclaw drove to conceal his vehicle behind the school and next to the outbuilding. For the prosecution's theory to be true, Holtzclaw would had to have had instantly accelerated to 65 miles per hour to cover that distance and parked before his patrol car was pinged again. At night, off-road, in a park, with multiple obstacles and aided only by one's own headlights. I've posted a map on this episode's homepage that shows these measurements and graphically shows the problem of the prosecution's theory. Now that we know that Holtzclaw's vehicle could not have been where the prosecution wants everyone to believe that it was, and where Ellis swore under oath that it was parked, the next question becomes, what was Holtzclaw doing for 3 minutes and 49 seconds while his vehicle wasn't moving and he allegedly had Ellis with him, but he's much closer to the curb line within the park? I'd argue, like in the Terry Morris case, and as admitted by Holtzclaw during his interrogation, that he was most likely simply transporting Ellis while trying to get additional information from her regarding the criminal element in the neighborhood. I can certainly imagine a scenario where Ellis was fearful that others in the neighborhood had seen her talking to a police officer on Highland Drive for some 15 minutes and would assume she was snitching if the officer simply let her go. So, she could have very well asked, or Holtzclaw could have very well offered to drive her around the corner and let her out at the public park, where she could walk off in any direction and avoid being witnessed by others in the neighborhood. In fact, this very scenario was brought up at trial in this exchange with Detective Kim Davis, and she even admits that it's very possible. From page 3130 of the jury trial transcript, defense attorney Scott Adams, quote, "So it is possible, is it not, that Officer Holtzclaw simply drove through this area, got no information, let her out of the vehicle, and headed back over to Miramar and did all that traveling, the 503 feet, in less than 4 minutes, as opposed to having a sexual encounter to the point of ejaculation with someone behind the building, correct?" Detective Davis, "The way you're putting it, yes." End quote. That said, this and any scenario where Holtzclaw transports a female does raise a couple of minor red flags. Records indicate that Holtzclaw did not call in a 1014. That's law enforcement lingo for a 10 code for transporting a civilian. Policy would dictate that an officer should call in a 1014 and give their starting and ending mileage. Additionally, Holtzclaw's daily activity card did not show his contact with Ellis. This brings up another option that is 100% supported by the evidence, that Holtzclaw never transported Ellis at all. Instead, after spending approximately 15 minutes with Ellis on North Highland Drive, Holtzclaw simply drove north, a little less than 200 feet, turned eastbound onto Northeast 18th Street, and then proceeded down to the park where he jumped the curb and came to a stop approximately 36 feet beyond the curb line. This would have put Holtzclaw very near the only playground equipment in the park and where any young adults or homeless on the property would be loitering. It would have been perfectly within reason that Holtzclaw would have parked his vehicle, shined his lights on the individuals on the playground equipment, inquired as to what they were up to, and then sent them on their way after pointing out that the park is closed to the public at that time of night. A scenario like that could easily account for the 3 minutes and 49 seconds that Holtzclaw's vehicle was stopped. And once again, the cluster of pings starting at 1:18 a.m. and 17 seconds backs this scenario up. as it would have taken Holtzclaw approximately 24 seconds to drive from that point straight across the park at 10 miles per hour. Additionally, Ellis could have easily seen Holtzclaw at the end of the street or driving through the park as she continued northbound on Highland Drive. It would have only taken her less than 2 minutes to reach the corner of Highland and 18th while on foot. There's another consideration, that the patrol car GPS is not to be trusted at all in any scenario and shouldn't be used as such damning evidence in any criminal trial. I've posted the GPS data that corresponds with this episode on holtzclawtrial.com, and I've highlighted each time the data doesn't match the GPS parameters. I'll be pointing out the prosecution's own admissions at trial that the Oklahoma City Police Department's AVL system is quote unquote glitchy and unreliable in future episodes.
I am blabbering away and my mic is mute. I hate it when I do that. I'm just going to show you what episode 9 looks like in this from Bates podcast. And when you see this, it's even more surprising. Or not surprising, but it just shows you it's easy. You can visualize it so much better when you're looking at the maps from Brian Bates. So this map is the map that the prosecution created for trial. So stopping down here at the crepe myrtle tree for some oral, then driving up here, turning right into the park, jumping the curb, and driving over here behind this teeny tiny little tree to sexually assault her. Then this is some commentary that Brian Bates has put in. I'm not going to read it all because there's a lot here, and you can see that Brian Bates has done a ton of work on this. But I will kind of flip through them quickly for you, and we'll put the link for this episode in the chat. So this is their hand-drawn route of where, and here's kind of the best picture that you can see, really, honestly, of that little tree that was right there where they claim she says he stopped and raped her. And over here are those 3 houses. Well, there's like 6 along that little block, but over here is 3 houses that had a really good view of that. And that police car, I don't know. I can't imagine that somebody wouldn't have seen something if they were. And then this is their little hand-drawn route again, where they put the feet and all that stuff, where they think they've gotten all technical. Teeny tiny little tree. Again.
I mean, if you just think about it, Rhonda, why would he go there where
Right.
the species looking out onto that? You know what I mean? He could have easily have went that road, but instead of going all the way along and turning right, he could have just turned left past that wee white building and went in between that building and the building that's right beside it. And
Yeah.
it wouldn't have, yeah, exactly, right there.
Yeah.
He could have went in there, and it wouldn't have been seen by anybody unless they were walking past.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's stupid to me that they've put it at this stupid wee fucking tree that is right in front of Hoosies and everything like that, and nobody's seen or heard anything.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, I'm not a rapist or anything like that, but common sense would tell you the best place for something bad like that to happen is right in between the 2 buildings, because nobody would see anything
Yeah.
unless they were walking past.
Yep. That's exactly my thoughts as well. Exactly.
But look at that purple line. So you see the short purple line that's representative of 36 feet from the curb.
Yeah.
And then to
That's
the right there, you see the playground equipment in
Yep.
that circle. So that's probably what was going on right there, is he was shooing people away from the
Yeah.
playground, which is a really nice playground.
Yeah, it is. You know, considering it's been built next to a rapey schoolyard. Uh, I know I say it all the time, but I can't help it. I think it's funny. Well, the concept isn't funny, but that's just so. This is Brian Bates has done an even better job than I did with his. So this is Sherry Ellis's route. Her, you know what he's got a little key over here. This is the route she took from her house. Turned right, stopped here, gave some oral apparently, and then this lighter blue color is the known route that Daniel took based on the AVL. And then the prosecution's route from that point on is this red line. And, you know, the little spot here where he stopped and did whatever they claim he did. And then he left and went out this way. And then, like Kay said, this purple here is the most logical route. And that was the defense's route right there. So it's really interesting that the state has got such an overactive imagination. And then this, now, for those of you who can look at this and see something really interesting to read and figure out, rock on with your bad self. Because when I saw this, I was like, oh God, there's a lot of numbers in there. My brain can't compute, you know. But this breaks it down of what, based on Bates's investigation. And again, if you didn't hear it before or didn't know, Brian Bates was the defense counsel's investigator for a trial. So this is not just some, you know, bullshit numbers that he came up with. He did this work. And
I don't think he do this for trial.
I don't know if it was prepared for trial.
The problem
if
with
it was, it didn't get used.
Well, I think it would have. I think the problem was that, you know, he was the sole investigator. And like we've said a million times before, having 13 cases where you have to figure all of this out, you know, we're all trying to figure this out right now in a timeline and put it all together and make it make sense. He was doing that all the while trying to figure out if Daniel was telling the truth or not, because he didn't know Daniel. You know, he couldn't conceive really that what had happened and why they would frame him. I don't even know how far into the investigation or into his work with the case that he, you know, finally realized that Daniel was innocent.
Right. And if you listen to, I believe it's his first episode, he says that, you know, he went into this not just jumping in and believing. He went in not sure. He didn't know. And he was determined to do the investigation work before he made up his mind. But he has broken down, based on his investigation, he's broken down every minute and almost to the seconds, really, of everything that Daniel did during that stop with Sherry Ellis. And it's really quite interesting to look at it and realize, wow, yeah, the state really did concoct a fabulous story. So he breaks that all down. If you get 5 minutes of time that you're just kind of wondering, just check this out because it's really very interesting. And
And
then,
you'll find this on holtzclawtrial.com.
yeah, episode 9.
Yeah.
I think we should be putting it should have been in the chat. I don't know if I know I haven't done it yet, but maybe someone can get a chance. Here's a really good look at that tree, fully bloomed and everything. It's still, I mean, I don't know what date Bates's map was, if he changed the date for the scene or not, but it says drone photo taken by Bates of alleged second crime. So this was done then, probably, I can't even speculate because I don't know when he did his investigation, but he does show a drone view of all of those details. And
in episode 8, his photos in episode 8 show all of that stuff pretty clearly.
Yeah. Here's a aerial view of the AVL, which I need to go back into, and that's what I'm going to do this week. I'm going to go back in and mark the AVL just because I enjoy doing it. I don't know why. This is where it's all these little spots are where he pinged on Highland that night. Let's see. And this is a color view of the below is Holtzclaw's AVL for northeast approaching the park. So this is what the AVL says he did this. And then here it's just like it just ends. The AVL data ends there. And that's where you get to make up your own little scenario of what happened, like the state did. And then here is where you can get, it just makes sense that if he drove over here, he drove here because he left that cul-de-sac area there and drove right straight over here because it was the quickest route to get back to Miramar, where he went north and then turned west up there on, I guess it'd be 19th. So, but yeah, like Kay says on episode 8, you can get more information. Now he says the prosecution says the attacker was short, but we know that Daniel was 6 foot tall. The attacker was black and he's pale white. He was driving a older black and white car. Whoops, what has happened there? I don't know where that went. I think I need to go back this way. Drove the newer Ford Interceptor, all black car, and then drove 389 to 400 feet after the last known AVL ping at Northeast 18th and North 18th Street and the curb line. And then that's where Bates says that that's not possible. Could have only traveled approximately 36 feet between 5-second pings at 5 miles an hour. So that's in episode 9. Bates does typically about 2 episodes per accuser. And this is episode 9 is the his wrap up of the Sherry Ellis allegations. So anyway, can
we pick the timeline back up at slide 166?
Yeah, sorry, I'm reading the message in the chat. Is this 166? I guess you don't know because I'm not sharing the screen. Oh boy, here we go. Okay, so I'm not sure what number it is, but it's August 5th. And this is Gregory and Davis took Sherry on the route she took when the officer picked her up and assaulted her. Detective Gregory took the pictures, which we're not using his. Then it says detectives failed to record this interview. Yeah, they took just like with what's her name, Terry Morris. They take her on this ride along route that she claims that they took, and there's no recording. And there's, to my knowledge, I don't remember many notes, or I don't remember anything supplemental from Detective Gregory in Davis's report. And then we go to August 9 to the. Is this where you were? What number are you looking for, Kay? I can't see the numbers in this format.
Yeah, that's 167. Just keep. I think we're going to go to 177. So, yeah. So this is when they start getting really serious about getting Holtzclaw into custody, because Michael Brown gets shot in Ferguson, and then the first wave of riots start up in Ferguson, and everyone in the United States knows about that.
Yeah. I remembered it because it was the first in my adult life. It was the first riots that I can really, well, besides the Rodney King riots, not the riots for Rodney King, but when the police officers were all exonerated. I remember those riots, but this was the first real big racial riot that I had seen in my life on TV, and I was just really shocked at what I was seeing. So, okay, I think this was 70. Is this the one? No. Is this the one? I lost count of where I was. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to catch up with you here.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go through these all the way to, we're going to do like 7 more. I'll tell you when.
Okay. Okay. Sherry, do you want to read this if you're able to see it?
Okay. On August 13th, 2014, is this an email from Rocky Gregory?
Right.
I think you're hiding from me. We are still looking through everything. I'm sure you heard of the newfound victim. Found a girlfriend today on his workout team, but nothing there. This is on Holtzclaw. Continue.
Yes, please.
Okay. From Denise Wenzel to Gregory, or Rocky Gregory. Now you in? Okay. Not hiding, promise. Grab Tim and Kim and come see me around 8:30 tomorrow. From Musney to Ron Basie. You're first to know. I will tell others in the morning. Today, Kim and Valerie went to the jail to interview another female whose name was generated from the Unit 800 list I made for Kim. She is now victim number 4. She has had contact with him on 3 separate occasions, and the last time he felt her up and touched her breasts. I'm not sure whether he made contact with her. Her name is Maureen Lynn Memphis. The last time he ran her through Unit 800 was 4/14/14. We have pulled AVL for that day and have now pulled all Unit 800 log sheets for 2014. I also have the 28-day forecast for Spring Lake second shift to narrow our search through the boxes of files from Unit 800. We have a long way to go on this victim, but at least we have a starting point. If you need any more info, call me and I will try to answer what I can. Sherry Louise, Varuna search. What's going on? I'm echoing.
Oh, I don't hear it.
Okay.
I do. I think it's doing the same thing it was doing the other day when you were reading and you said it was your microphone, but
Me?
that doesn't make sense.
Oh, well, somebody else can read it.
Kay, do you want to pick it up?
Sherry Louise Ellis, victim. Varuna search, Detective Gregory. In going through Daniel Holtzclaw's Verona record searches for possible leads, the following was found. May 7th, 2014, at 0057 hours, he ran Ellis. And that's when he pulled her over, right? I mean, that's when he stopped her. Then at
Yes.
1923, he ran her again. The next, well, he's still, I mean, 5/7 and 5/8. This is all on the same shift, even though it's 2 different days. So then at 1625 hours, he ran her again. Is that? No,
Well,
wait.
19,
No,
no,
that would be the next day.
yeah, this is the like just before he's getting off shift, the first one.
Yeah.
So that's like almost 1 a.m. or almost 2 a.m.
And so the next 2 are the next day. So he's got her on his radar from the night before. We don't know what she told him.
Right.
5/8, 14, 20, 46 hours. He runs Terry Lynn Morris, and he runs her again at 20:53 on the 8th, and also at 20:53. So those 2 at 20:53, one of them is a correction because he said her birth date wrong or something. So technically that's not separate Verona searches, but they're listing it like it is. 5/8, 14 at 20:53 hours. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to read this from my phone. 5/8, 14 at 23:43 hours. He runs Sherry Ellis again. As noted, Sherry Ellis was found to be ran on by Daniel Holtzclaw 4 times on work shifts. This was during the same 24-hour period that Terry Morris had been sexually assaulted by him. See case number 14-41539. Detective Gregory left for vacation for 2 weeks. This information was passed to Davis, who was working a related case for Liggins. On the Wednesday the 13th, sex crimes detectives interview Florine Mathis in the jail. I think we're like getting beyond here now. So we're obviously going to pick up with Florine Mathis next week and see her interview.
Yes. I would agree. That's what we're going to be doing. Well, not next week. It'll probably be because we'll keep working on Sherry Ellis. I think I'd like to maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know if there really is much more other than picking apart her police report. And
well, I mean, I guess we could do that, but I think in just keeping with how we're going through the timeline, those reports, I'm not sure when they get filed, but Davis seems to file her reports in a more timely manner than Gregory does.
Yeah. What, so it can't be used to prosecute or exonerate. This has been a few minutes ago, so I'm not really sure what that was in reference to. I'm guessing AVL.
The 36 feet from the curb thing, is that what they're talking about?
Probably. Yeah, probably.
In a new trial, it would be helpful.
Yeah, I was going to say in a new trial, it would be useful, which is, what the hope is for sure.
But getting a new trial is going to be as easy as Stephen Avery getting a new trial. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
The judges are doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's true. Let's see. Thank you, Kat, for dropping all those links. I really appreciate it. And Alice and let's see. Catnit has said automatic vehicle locating AVL system designed for surveillance operations enable law enforcement to discreetly track and monitor vehicles. Yes. And then she's put a nice link in there for you guys to check out if you're interested too. Thank you for doing that. And hello, Shaz. Welcome. And let's see what's Liam got here. With the incompetent detectives not recording stuff that needs to be recorded, you can see why beat cops are lackadaisical about it too. It's a general lack of best practice throughout OKCPD. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, in Daniel's defense, he's doing what he does. He's trained to do these things, just like Elaine Taylor is trained to be, the kind of lab analyst she is. We just have these decades old stories of old school people training the new people and so on and so on. They don't go to classes to learn anything. Like, what's Lieutenant Musney's qualifications for being the head of sex crimes unit? He had no experience with anything sex crimes. Neither did Kim Davis or Rocky Gregory. I mean, what's their training? They don't have any. It's just other people that were sex crimes detectives before them trained them with all their bad habits.
Exactly.
And it just goes on and on.
Yep. There's not, according to Kim Davis, there wasn't regular requalification or any qualification to start with to do the job that you just apply for the position. If the position is open, you apply for it and you either get it or you don't. They don't look at your qualifications or anything like that. It's not a part of that process of getting that position, which, when you're talking about serious things like homicide, because now Gregory, he's a homicide detective. Well, what qualifications did he have to be a damn homicide detective?
He knows how to frame people.
He knows how to fucking frame people, and that's it. Yep. It's just it's insane, and that's where some help could start, or some saving grace or something could start by starting to require some certifications for some of these positions, and they just don't. And I think that's just wrong in every way. So and I don't know if you caught it or not, Kay, but TJ says Kim Davis being a detective is like making Ernest T. Bass a detective. Did you catch it earlier though, Kay, when TJ said he's met her personally?
I heard that.
That's scary.
I saw that.
Yeah. So
I wonder how and why.
Yeah, I'm really curious. That's what I said. Some stories are going to have to be told when we're in Oklahoma, because we want to know. Inquiring minds need to know. But so let me close some. I got to close some tabs here. I got about 15 open. So I mean, as far as Sherry Ellis, other than picking through her police report, which is just as inaccurate as, I think Kay mentioned it. Hers, Davis files her reports or submits her reports in a more timely manner, and she's more. She sounds more intelligent than Rocky Gregory. Good God, read one of Rocky Gregory's fucking police reports and it'll blow your mind. Because, I know Cherie and Kay and I, gosh, a couple of years ago, I remember just going through different police reports and just starting to read them just so that we could so that Sherry and I could become more familiar. And I am really fussy. And I know it doesn't sound like it by the way I speak, but I'm really fussy when I'm reading about, punctuation and grammar and things like that. And Kay is, and so is Cherie. And I remember us reading through some of those things, just freaking out because Rocky Gregory has zero concept of punctuation and grammar and run-on sentences and switching a topic without changing a pair. He's just horrible. It's horrible, and we would just get really frustrated reading his stuff. So and the thing of it was, he claims in trial, I believe it was at trial, Rocky Gregory claims that the way he files or submits his reports is he types them all out in a Word document, and then he submits them through their system. I can't think right now of what it's called, but he submits them through their system. If he's typing that shit out in a Word document, it's got spell check, it's got it helps you with your grammar. It tells you when you're, not making sense, and it'll help you fix it. But none of that appears to have been done. He just types it all out the way it sounds in his head and submits it. And
it's an aspect of Varuna. So that's why Varuna is so helpful for investigative purposes, because you can go in, you can see when people have been stopped, you can click and you can read the police reports to see who was involved in those incidents, or you can get marked like tattoos and identifying features, I guess I'm trying to say.
Mhm.
Yeah, but Rocky also says he submits they submit their reports to Lieutenant Musney, and then he approves them. Like, what does he do? Well, he'll check him for grammar and stuff. Like, are you freaking kidding me?
When?
He gets a damn F on that, because just go read one of Rocky Gregory's
Just one.
reports.
I suggest Tabitha Barnes.
And Kim, she's better because she told Michelle Malkin, I'm OC.
Yeah.
Like, OC, okay. She's OC.
Just like she's techno. Liam, yes, that Word doc is probably 70% red lines, at least.
God.
It's really hard to read his shit. It really is.
Stupid shit now.
Oh, man. Anyway, so I think that'll kind of wrap up the Sherry Ellis, unless we come across something that's more, it's just obvious that her whole accusation is a lie. And we already know that. We don't really even need to pick out anything in a police report, because you've heard the phone interview, you've seen the in-person interview and listened to it, and you've seen clips of her deposition where she claims she never saw Daniel until they were in court. So we know that her entire shit is a lie. We really don't need to pick out any more than that, although we could. So we don't really need to spend that much time on it anymore. This is funny. I got to put this up here again. Gives a job. It must be a online job application thing in the UK.
No, Rhonda, is what we say, gives a job, meaning, can I get a job? So
Okay,
it's gives a
gotcha.
job.
I'm glad I stopped for a second before I actually said it, because I was going to use the G in Giza as a G, and I was going to make the G sound, and then I was like, wait a minute, there's no way. So I didn't.
You were going to say jizz?
No, it's Giza.
Giza job.
As in pizza, but it's Giza.
Okay.
Giza job. Yeah. It's like, gonna geese that ashtray over, gonna geese that paper,
Okay. I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. So he says, we need a new armorer. What experience do you have? I watched Black Hawk Down. You're hired. Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Okay, so we're going to leave Sherry Ellis. I think we'll leave Sherry Ellis and we'll move on to, it looks like Florine Mathis in the timeline. But I do want to say something first before we go. First of all, I wanted to remind everybody, if you haven't already subscribed, please do that. I noticed I lost a subscriber this week, this last few days actually, because I was at 420, as Yoris so eloquently pointed out to me the other day in a DM. But I was at 420, and I looked a little while ago today, and it looks like I'm down to 419. You know, it's the people who can't handle the truth that decide to leave, I think. But anyway, so let's get some more awareness out there for this case. And excuse me. I have put in Discord, I have put a couple of links. I think I put the links in there. I know I did. There are 2 links that I shared in Discord, and I don't know if Kay or Cherie or Alice or Kat can go in and look, but I think they're both in the room that I just created that's called transcript donations. And one of them is a link for if you're interested in donating to Daniel's legal funds. There's a link in there for that, and I hadn't been aware of it before. So and I will see if I can get my YouTube manager to put those in my description as a permanent link. And then the other one is a PayPal. For me, if you're interested in donating for transcript pages, there's a document in there that shows Kay has gotten all the document pages and broken them down by accuser and different things, and she's indicated the page numbers, how many pages they are, and how much that section will cost. And so we need to figure out a way to keep that updated as donations are made to that, because we've had our first donation for transcripts, which is incredibly generous, and that was from Liam. He donated to get the opening statements from the from the closing statements of the trial. Thank you. I'm struggling. And so we now have the opening statements of Daniel's trial, thanks to Liam. So thank you so much to Liam for doing that and helping us out.
When are we going to read those?
That was my next thing. So we want to read them as a separate. We're going to stay on topic with the title inside the wrongful conviction of Daniel Holtzclaw, and then do that in episodes like we have been. And so I want to do the transcript readings on a different night. So we're talking about, well, I mentioned Monday or Tuesday, because I want to be completely respectful of other channels in the community who are doing their their lives and things like that. So Monday or Tuesday, and I'll get it posted this weekend when I find out who, make sure that Monday or Tuesday are clear, and we'll start reading like that. And I'll try to just do that on the same day each week too, as we get new transcripts to read. So Cherie, did you have something you were going to say?
I was just going to say that Jeff Jones is on Tuesday.
That's what I was thinking.
30, and
Okay.
sometimes Alex is on Monday, but he's usually a little earlier in the
Dryer's done. Just kidding. Who's on Monday?
Alice has done hers on Monday. So
okay. Yeah.
a little earlier in the day than what you usually do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of it's we got a lot of people in our community doing their work, and so I don't want to step on that. Um so I'll find out. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I'll find out. I'll check with Alice, and I, now that you reminded me, I knew there was somebody on Tuesday, but I couldn't remember. But that's, so it won't be Tuesday for sure. Um, I'll find out from Alice. I think Wednesday. Who has something on Wednesday?
Becca.
Becca.
Becca has Wednesday morning catch up
Oh,
on
she does.
Wednesday.
That's Wednesday morning, though, right?
Yeah, your Wednesday morning. Yeah.
Okay. So I know that Jack sometimes randomly will do a Wednesday for open mic, but not much lately. So
No. He only really does that if we've been doing, like the transcripts, and it's one transcript that we've done, but we've no finished. So he'll try and schedule it as quick as possible, and sometimes that lands on a Wednesday. Yeah. Sometimes I do mine's on a Monday. But it's my 9 o'clock at night. Which is, I think, your 3 p.m. in the afternoon.
yeah, I think it is early in the afternoon for us.
Yeah. But it's not every Monday. I mean, right now I don't have anything planned for Monday coming up. But
Okay.
then again, sometimes I do it spontaneously. But as of now, there is nothing that I've got on for
Okay.
Monday as of yet. So if you would like to do something on Monday, that's absolutely fine.
Okay, I think we'll do it Monday then, and I'll
That's
get it.
good.
Yeah,
That's
I'll
good
get it.
for me.
I'll get it posted. Now, I just want to remind everybody that when we do these transcripts, those are generally quite lengthy lives or podcasts or whatever we're calling it. They are several hours minimum. So if you're interested in listening, that's going to, it's going to take a while. But it's really not about how many viewers I have live. Of course, I would love as many as I can get, but it's not really about that. It's about memorializing the transcript from Daniel's trial, however we can and whenever we can. So if you're not able to listen to however long it takes for the whole thing, then you can come back and listen to the rest later or whatever. There's no pressure for people sticking around the entire time to listen to the whole thing. So, our William, I'm sorry I saw you pop in a few minutes ago and I didn't get a chance to say hello. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. And Susan says she's available on Monday so she can help us read. And Kat's going to have to talk to her agent. She doesn't do anything without speaking to her agent. So, anyway, so we'll do it Monday. Let's plan on these opening statements for Monday, and it should be interesting. I haven't read them yet, but I will try to go over them a little bit here and there over the weekend as I can. And let's see. One last thing that I want to mention outside of all of this is that there are some of us who are working on a tribute video for BB. I know Catnit for sure, myself, I think Sherry is wanting to help, and Darkside. Well, probably anybody in foul play, but I know that that little group is trying to work on a video. If you have any pictures of BB that you would like to share for that tribute, or if you know of a voice clip that you've heard from a podcast somewhere that you would like to play, just let us know and send it to us. I'm going to create I don't know quite sure how I'm going to do it. I'll have to talk with foul play and see if they want to make a room for those things to be delivered, or just how we're going to do it, but we'll do something. In the meantime, though, you can reach out to myself, Catnit, Darkside, Cherie, And I don't know if Alice, if she was interested in or had time to help or not, but any one of us really, just send us a DM with something that you have if you would like. We're not going to rush the tribute. We're going to take our time and make sure that it's very, very special for her family. So, Kat, Kay, any last things you'd like? I was going to say any last words. I don't think that's a very proper way to say it. Is there anything that you would like to add before we go?
Nope.
Cherie, how about you?
It was a good one. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Alice, anything else you would like to add?
No, oh well, Police Scotland today have come out and admitted that they are racist, sexist, misogynistic, and what was the other one? Sexist, racist, misogynistic, and
Homophobic?
discriminatory.
Oh,
Like discriminating against people and everything like that.
Wow.
Yep. And that is the chief constable who is supposed to be retiring in the summer, the one who gave the permission to destroy Luke's evidence, has had to sit in a press conference and admit that Police Scotland is all of these things. And they wonder why we don't trust them.
yeah. Wow, that's some big stuff. God.
Yeah, exactly. So now that means they could have done anything to Luke's evidence, and I believe it 100%.
Sure. Well, even without that information, we believe it. So
Yeah,
that's
but
terrible.
this
Gosh.
sort of puts a final nail in the coffin, so to speak.
Right.
We knew they were corrupt. We knew they were full of bullshitters, and they've now just had to come out and admit to being racist, sexist, misogynistic, and discriminatory against people. It's like, oh my God.
Alice, I
we're
don't know
stuck.
if you know this, but William doesn't agree with you.
He always does me. He always does me, especially when it comes to the William. They're all corrupt, and you've admitted it.
Oh man. All right. Then I think we did a good one tonight. I feel like it gave a lot of information that we were actually able to tie together in the timeline. I hope that everybody in the chat is appreciating that. But the timeline that Kay works on every day is really, really helpful to start making everything become clear, I think. So, all right. So if nobody has anything else, I think we're going to take off, and I'll let you know when we're going to do the transcript, but I'm pretty sure it'll be on Monday. So until then, peace out.